Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Dominions 5. My name is Mew. This time around, I'm going to be playing a multiplayer game set in the early age, and I'm going to be playing as Ubar. However, this game has a pretty big twist. It's going to be a MagicGen game. So in the past, you might have played a few NationGen games. NationGen was a program, I think that's still around, right? It generates completely randomly generated nations. This is MagicGen. It generates a completely new set of spells for the game. So every single spell in the game, every generic spell and every national spell is gone and replaced by a completely randomly generated spell. And that includes national spells as well, so there are actually randomly generated national spells too. This is going to be a very strange game. I hope people enjoy watching it. MagicGen, I'll put a link to MagicGen in the description. I'm going to go check it out. It's hosted on GitHub and maintained primarily by Loggy, I think, so shoutouts to him. Aside from MagicGen, this game will also be running the JBBM balance mod, which makes a number of small tweaks and changes to the game, mostly in the interest of balance. Specifically for Ubar, there's a couple of mostly cost changes and stuff like that. So for units, Brazen Guards are slightly more expensive in terms of gold and RP. Scouts are 10 gold more expensive. Assassins now cost more recruitment points. So that's the Huri and the Shaitan. Huri are now 2 recruitment points, and Shaitan are now 4. So it's quite difficult to get those guys out. Shaitan are slightly less expensive in terms of gold though. Pretender changes are that you can no longer get any Dominion 1 pretenders, and the Illihat of Might is more expensive, which is the pretender that I've chosen here. And the final change is that Ifrit are more cold vulnerable. So Ifrit warriors went from 5 cold vulnerability to 10, and Ifrit sultans went from 5 cold vulnerability to 15. Aside from those cost changes and the resist changes though, I think this is pretty much exactly the same as Ubar you will be familiar with. This is going to be quite a weird game. I've never played a MagicGen game before, but I have been generating some spellbooks locally to see what they look like. I have not looked at the spellbook that's going to be used in this game though. That's going to be completely new to me, and new to everyone. Since it is a MagicGen game, that does mean that we are going to be missing our national spells, so things like Smokeless Fire and the Ghoul spells and stuff like that. We won't have them, they'll all be gone. Who knows what we're going to end up with instead? It's going to be a big surprise. But here's the god I decided to go with. The Illihat of Might is extremely good for this particular build in vanilla. It's about 40 points more expensive in JBBM, so I had to take Sloth 1 to pay for it. But really, I only had 2 priorities when I was making this god. The first is that I really wanted to take magic and luck scales. That's also why I played Ubar as well. A lot of my games I don't do a lot of research, and I'm kind of tired of Misfortune to be honest, so I really wanted to have a nation I could play Magic 3 Luck 3. Ubar fits that quite well. A lot of the mages and things have magic power and stuff like that, and they don't need too much gold. And the other thing as well, I really wanted to just fix some of the problems on my big sacred mages, which is mainly cold resistance. So I wanted a lot of cold resistance, and I wanted Luck 3 Magic 3. Illihat of Might is fine for that. I also took some poison resistance, because why not? And large is pretty good as well, because my big sacred mages, the Ifrit guys, the unit versions are size 4 and the sultans are size 5. So large is pretty nice on those guys. So it's a pretty generic bless, I would assume. I would imagine that blesses like this are pretty standard on Ubar. I don't know. I haven't done much prep for this game because I was mostly just interested in MagicGen, to be honest. So I'm never usually an expert in any of the nations I play, but that's especially true this time around. I'm very, very new to Ubar. So I'll be discovering things as we go. But this looked pretty fine. Scales are like this. I've kind of ignored growth because we get a free site in our cap that gives us growth. And since it's an early age game, our cap is going to be the main source of our income, I would imagine. So that getting growth 3 for free, pretty nice. So I kind of just ignored that. Didn't want to go all the way to Turmoil 3, even though I am luck. So I wanted to put that up a little bit and keep some recruitment points and stuff. So I took a point of Sloth instead to pay for it. Other than that, I mean, Mostly I was just wanted Magic 3 and Luck 3, so this is just paying for that. We don't have too much problem buying our units though. Everything is kind of cheap. The kind of the bigger stuff like the Djinn and that are very expensive. But for expanding, I'm mostly just expanding with camels, and that seems to work fine. And you can get quite a few of those guys out for quite cheap, so that works out quite well for me. Past this, another thing that was good about taking a god that has water, earth, and nature is that we don't naturally have a lot of water and nature on this nation. And since it's a MagicGen game, I'd like to have as much variety as I can get, because who knows what weird spells are going to be lurking in water and nature. I don't want to miss out on something that might be quite good. So having a mobile pretender that can use paths that we don't otherwise have also seems like it would be quite good for MagicGen. So that is Badly Written Alternate Histories, God of Ubar. I hope that you guys enjoy this series. If you do enjoy the series, or if you've been enjoying any of the other videos on my channel and you'd like to support me and the channel, I do have a Patreon linked in the description below if you want to check it out. I think I've got like 10 patrons now, which is really cool. Thanks guys for supporting me. I know some people usually put like the names of all the people on their videos, but I don't know, to me that feels really intrusive. Like I haven't asked for permission to do that, so if you're on my Patreon, thanks, I do appreciate it. One additional thing that I will be doing throughout this series is I'll put up standalone videos where I just look through all of the spells. So I'll do a video on the fire spells and then one on the earth spells and so on. I'm not sure how entertaining that will be to watch, but if you are one of those people who's really curious about what spells are in the spellbook as the game goes on, those videos will be there for you to check out. I'll definitely do it this time. In the Battle Data series, I always said I was going to do videos on all of the mod nations, and I never did, because I just thought it would be really boring to watch, but I'll actually do it in this case, I really will. Other than that, you know, I'll put links to all the mods and everything in the description, the map generator, everything else, and yeah, that's it. So next time you see me will be turn 1. I'm looking forward to it, hope it's fun, thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.